Heat culture. I mean, how many times have you heard that phrase? I know for me, it's too many times to count. And Jimmy Butler told me that in 2023, the definition of heat culture, it is whatever the series, whatever the percentages that are put on them to win or not win, they don't care. There's no excuses. But when did that start? Well, it goes back to 1995. That's when Pat Riley, he spoke about one day hosting a parade down Biscayne Boulevard. And our Jorge Sedano has more.
Heat culture was born on September 2nd, 1995.
It's my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce you to the new president and head coach of the Miami Heat, Pat Riley. Pat.
There's this image in my mind about, the symbolic parade, this championship parade, and I mean, that's the only reason that I coach.
Riley took over a franchise that was short on history and a town whose sports fans were geared towards football. Miami wasn't a basketball town, but he was determined to change people's perceptions. He did just that.
He's an architect when it comes to winning.
The Godfather, as he's affectionately known, laid the foundation for what Heat culture is. Riley defines it as
the hardest working, best conditioned, most professional, unselfish, toughest, nastiest team in the league.
His early teams were built around a pair of Heat Hall of Famers, Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. They were highly competitive, but fell short of the goal.
And the New York Knicks knock off a number one.
That was agonizing for Riley. In 2003, Heat culture found its new stewards. A pair of forever men in Dwayne Wade via the lottery and Udonis Haslem as an undrafted free agent. Forever men is a phrase Riley coined to describe those players that meant most to his career. Born into the culture, Wade and Haslem are woven into the fabric of all 7 Heat Finals teams. Wade is the most important player in franchise history, helping lead Miami to their first title in 2006 with Shaq, while ushering in the Heatles era with LeBron James and Chris Bosh, and assisting in selling current Heat star Jimmy Butler on why Heat culture was the perfect match for him. But Haslem, currently in his 20th and final season, is one of the shining examples of how Miami finds talent in places most can't see. It's why recently Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra was seemingly annoyed at the storyline of Miami's undrafted players.
That's so disrespectful. Like, that storyline is over.
Spo likely took exception to that because he too personifies Heat culture. In essence, he was undrafted like many on his roster. He's someone who had to be molded from humble beginnings in the video room, or the dungeon as he likes to call it, to being at the helm in Miami for 15 seasons. For years now, with Riley in the background, the Heat had one voice. Spoelstra, unequivocally the caretaker of Heat culture, is making his 6th finals appearance, tied for 4th most all time, and tied for most by an active head coach.
That starts with Erik Spoelstra.
Some would call that a fairy tale story, from the video room to one of the greatest coaches of all time. People in Miami would tell you that's just another example of Heat culture.
Gabe Vincent led the Heat in Game 2 with 23 points, including hitting 4 three-pointers, making him the 3rd player in franchise history to hit 53s in a single postseason. It was the 8th game this postseason in which Vincent hit 4 threes. That is also a record for the Miami Heat. And look, it wasn't just Vincent. After making just a 1/3 of their three-pointers in Game 1, the Heat shot 49% from 3 in Game 2. That includes 8 for 18 three-point shooting on a contested shot and 15 of 27 off of passes. So we are back here with the DraftKings Sportsbook predictions. Let's take a look at a trio of finals prop bets ahead of Game 3. All right, Perk is 2 for 6. So we brought in somebody else to try and help you guys make a little bit of money. So let's start with Gabe Vincent. We just went over his prolific three-point shooting. Do you think that he makes 3 or more threes in the next game?
I'm going to go with yes.
He's going to make 3 more.
I think he's going to get 3+ threes in the next game. He's been very well poised and confident in himself this whole postseason. I think he continues that streak.
I'm going to be really honest. I'm already more confident now that it's not Perk picking. But we talk so much about Jokic distributing the ball. Do you think he gets 10 or more assists? Now, mind you, He did. Anytime he gets low assist numbers, they're struggling. What do you think?
I think he's going to focus on getting his teammates involved early and some in the second half. So I think he does get the 10-plus assists this next game, probably 10 even. But yeah, I think he'll be a lot better with finding his teammates.
Is it more or less? Are you going to
say more. I'm going to say more.
Okay, we got an answer, Adam. All right, how about on the other side of the ball? Jimmy Butler had 9 dimes last night. Do you think he gets 7 or more assists in the next game on Wednesday?
I think less.
Okay.
I think Jimmy's going to be more aggressive offensively. He's had some very coasting regular season Jimmy games on the road in Denver. I think this game at home in Miami, he's going to be a lot more aggressive. He still will distribute the ball, but I don't think he gets 7 assists this time.
Wembanyama. Look, the Heat and the Nuggets aren't the only teams in the finals right now. Projected #1 pick Victor Wembanyama and the Metropolitans 92 advanced to the LMB finals in France with a win on Sunday. Now look, Wembanyama had 15 points, 7 boards, 5 blocks in game 1 on Saturday, but the NBA draft is June 22nd. Now, look, it is no surprise that Victor Wembanyama is at the top-ranked center in the upcoming NBA draft. But take a look who they have at #2. Normally, we hate talking about Duke people, but Dereck Lively is there, who is the ACC all-freshman and all-defensive performer last year. This hurts me. It pains me that we're going to talk about Duke. I don't want to do it, so we're going to let
I'll do it.
Miss Carter. Miss Carter is going to take over for us. Go ahead.
I will absolutely take care of it because Dereck Lively is someone that I covered all season long. And let me tell you, we've talked about the Heat defense, right? Bam Adebayo and drop coverage and the athleticism and the length. That is what Dereck Lively is capable of. So if we go to the film, let's talk defense. I love defense. We see the difference it's making in the playoffs. Look at Dereck Lively here. He's at the elbow. Now he shadows coming off of the ball screen. I want you to watch his feet. He completely trusts his teammate behind him to hedge. And in 1, 2, 3 steps, he is already right back where he needs to be. He's not tripping over his feet like I would in these heels. And then the block shot, completely vertical, like he's going up in a tube. He barely elevated off of the floor and still affects the basketball on the shot. Saw that all season long. Now, this is in transition. Dereck Lively sprinting the floor with Leaky Black. Now, Armando Bacot's gonna hold here. Leaky Black's gonna attack the basket. Doesn't matter because Dereck Lively is there to take care of everything. You get beat, don't worry about it. Dereck Lively has your back. And I talked about how he didn't elevate last possession. You see what happens when he actually elevates, hits the ball at the highest point. But the biggest piece to his draft stock going higher and higher was this pro day that he had for Clutch Sports. His ability to knock down shots. Listen, Dereck Lively was 2 of 13 from beyond the arc his last season at Duke. I talked to his agent, Josh Harrison of Clutch Sports. He said that Dereck is a very team player. He likes to do whatever the team needs for the team to be successful. So he focused on the defensive side, but he is offensive-minded. He hit 14 threes in a row at his pro day. The biggest thing that they said at Clutch Sports is it's more about fit than it is about the number that he goes. They want to go to a team that is going to have him grow, where he's going to be a great fit. I definitely believe he is top 15. Some people had him like mid-first round, late first round in the draft. Whoever chose that was completely wrong. He's going to go much higher.
That was probably me because I always try and downplay Duke's level of involvement in the draft because I don't want to deal with it. But thank you, Miss Carter. All right, we're back here at the panel. So we're going to give you guys some final thoughts. So I wanted to ask Miss Carter, who was so nice to stay with us for the rest of this block. What is it about the Heat size? A lot of people have been talking about how big Denver is. Yep. Is there something that Miami can do to kind of counteract that, or what do you think the advantage is there?
Well, I think what we saw in Game 2 from Miami is that being smaller is not always a disadvantage, right? When you probably know this on the perimeter, when you have a small guy up under you, it's disruptive, it's frustrating. When they're cutting through the screens, when they're being physical with you as you're trying to come off of ball screens, when Jokic has the ball, and someone is up under him, he might still score, but it's gonna take 5 dribbles, 6 dribbles, 7 dribbles because they are turning him. I think Miami's effort on the defensive end, their athleticism, their speed, all of those things counter them being, quote unquote, the smaller team.
No, I agree. And look, when he's taking 5, 6 dribbles in the paint to get to his game, that slows down their pace. That benefits the Miami Heat. What are you seeing, Danny?
100%. You've seen him also make some unlikely turnovers. I think that was due to Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry getting in his legs and making them take those extra dribbles. But their size said they out-rebounded Denver in game 2. So the size obviously didn't make that much of a difference. But the fact that they're using those small guys to get into him and make him also take charges. He had a couple of charges that hurt them. That just, kind of wearing on his body a lot, and it's also given Miami more of an advantage in that realm of slowing down their pace.
Another takeaway is that you got complimented way too much by Bill Walton. So no more compliments for you for the rest of the week. We're not complimenting. We're not complimenting you for the rest of the week because that's enough.
Except for the shoes. The shoes are cool.
You know what? Thank you.
Danny.
I appreciate that. And look, see, we invite Miss Carter to stay here because we know she brings high-level basketball analysis here, and then she just throws digs at
Just one. I had to for Malika.
Oh, God. We don't want more of that. Okay, really quickly.
Yeah.
One takeaway that you guys see for the Denver Nuggets that can improve. Real quick thoughts, starting with you, Danny.
Obviously, the ball movement and their pace. They have to get up and down the floor. They can't let Miami's zone and their full court press slow them down. So offensively, they have to score more and doing that with getting more shots for KCP, more shots for Michael Porter Jr., and that's their pace of the game. And obviously, Jokic being the facilitator in that aspect.
Yeah, and I think pace isn't always in the full court. You can have pace in the half court as well. I thought there were too many possessions where Denver seemed like they were floating on offense. And then when they had to make a hard cut, it was an air ball or the shot was off, right? Make your cuts hard from start to finish so that if those shots aren't falling early, your cuts are consistent, your effort is consistent, and they can start to fall late.
Now, look, the Denver Nuggets, this is the best team that they've played against. They played against a 7 seed, an 8 seed, a 4 seed. So now I understand that Miami is an 8 seed, but understand, Miami was in the conference finals last year. There was a lot of fight in this team, and they have proven it to everybody all year long. Danny came in here saying that, look, I don't think they can keep shooting like that. And I'm like, that's what everybody has been saying since the first round. Malika Andrews will be in Miami tomorrow. We will be here. See you guys tomorrow.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.